Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and gamers, to a quick building tutorial. So, what if I told you you could build a nice house with just these 5 blocks? And you don't even have to be naturally good at building. This is a mathematical way to build. So if you guys are naturally a builder, or you've learned how to do it over time, this may not be for you, but I would say stick around because you might learn something that's pretty creative. You're able to get some really unique shapes and styles out of using this. So what we have here is a 5x5 grid with the logs, and there is 7 blocks across each direction. They're perfect squares. Some of you might know the 7x7x7 method. This is a little different, like the cube method. What this is that you have a 5x5 grid, or a 7x7, 9x9, 9x4, whatever you want grid. I just went with 5x5 for simplicity's sake. And you break out certain pillars. And it doesn't really matter except for these ones that are the tallest, because if you broke out this pillar right here, what is this? This isn't a wall. This will look weird, especially when you try to add depth. So you need these pillars here, and I'll show you in the next step how you can break that rule. But this is the layout we went for. We broke these 2 pillars in this row, these 2, and then we broke 3 in the back. If you notice, one of these tall pillars I actually broke. So this big pillar right here I broke, and that's because I got rid of this corner as well. So then this became an unbreakable pillar unless I broke both of them, and then it's just a 5x4, which is kind of cheating. So I went with a very simple shape because I wanted to be able to do something that was easy to do, but also communicate this extra bit. Like, for instance, I could have broke out this part right here and that wouldn't have been a problem, but I decided to keep it. Now what we did was we made a very simple wall design that we're able to just copy and paste. I literally used the clone command and just put it all around the building. If you guys want to know how to be able to do this, this is not the tutorial for it, by the way. When we get log blocks, that'll look better, but for now I just use stone brick on the corners. I'm hoping the log blocks are able to rotate, but that is not the point of this video. If you guys want to learn how to be able to do things like this, go look at my tutorial, Walls on Hills, of how to be able to make walls that are able to adjust the terrain and stuff like that. I also talk about how to be able to make duplicating patterns and things like that that work well together. So go check that out. But that's what we did. We just went around, did that. We filled in the bottom here, decide what the walls are going to be. I decided not to use this space because there isn't much space. So this is the shape we have on the inside. These 3 pillars, though, on the inside are going to be important because we're able to decide our roof from it, as you can see, as we did over here. So these 2 I decided would be the most proud. They'd be the tallest ones instead of this way, because honestly I think that if the roof was here and then there's a big section over here, it would look a little weird. So we went with this right here. And as you can see, we went with a tall roof. And this right here is just showing you what the one roof looks like. You're able to mess with the heights of these. You can add a flag on them. You can make them flat. You can make it so instead they just don't even exist. It's up to you, honestly. But I went with a personal favorite roof design where some of them are taller than other sections and things like that. And it's a very, very simple roof design. Like, to show you how easy this is, it is 1 2 1 2. It's just that I don't have to turn around anything like that. It's very useful. But for this grid approach, I decided that these 2 pillars that we didn't break on the inside were going to be the important pillars, and that was going to be our big roof. And then I went on and made the other roofs. So this pillar here says that this is also important. It's not as important, but it's still important. So I decided to make a large frame over this. I also decided to add a little bit of detail to this because I felt like it was just, that's too flat. This is better. This is not a tutorial on how to do detailing or anything like that. This is just a tutorial on how to make a grid building and how to use the grid structure to be able to make a building. So this roof over here was pretty bare, so we just made a slight slant going in because this is not the important part. This is the important part. This is the important part. The back here, as you can see, I did a small roof, but I decided to make it so it was the traditional, like, A arch instead of it being backward stairs like we did over here, just so that this is more important than that back section. It's also smaller in the back there. Over here now, what we did is we decided for doors where they would be. So there's one over here, and there's one on the side here. I always recommend having 2 doors in a build, especially one that is this large. And here's just a sample. We didn't do the interior or anything like that, but it's a sample of what you could do for the interior. So over here, for instance, okay, we can go up here. Maybe this is the kitchen or a patio, a dining area, a lounge. Up here, we could put in a wall, we could put in banners and make a curtain for the like mother and father's bedroom. Okay, there we go. Underneath here can be a private little bathroom and something simpler like that. Also, sorry that sounds off. My resources have been giving me issues. Up here could be the kids area, like a play area or something along those lines. If we go around here up this flight of stairs, this could be the kids' bedroom, and then you can go through this door to the storage, or maybe storage is over here. Maybe it's on both sides. This is a pretty big house. I'm gonna bet this family's rich. You could do a lot of things. Put something underneath the stairwell. On the other side of this wall is where we said maybe that's where the kids' playroom is, right? I missed a block. Like just going up these stairs, but right here is another room. Maybe this can be the dining room. This could be a kitchenette or something like that. Over there could be a study or a lounge. Just try to get creative. Think of what rooms you would want in a house and things like that, and be able to figure out how to add them in. Now, let's talk about the rules with this style of building. First thing first, if we go all the way back to the very first step, there is a limit of what you can do in height, depending on what you do with your spacing. If you decide to go 1, 2, 3 block, 1, 2, 3 block, you can't go a very tall of a build because it's going to look unnatural. No matter how many of these you go out, you can have, this could be a line of 45 by 45 grid. If they're that close together, it's going to look strange building up for the most part. But if you broke out that middle block, it'd be fine traditionally. But also, if you decided to do the 7 by 7 and you decided that, all right, we're going to put the roof here, it's going to look really short and stubby. You need to add some height to it, which is what we did. These are 9 blocks tall, and it works well for it. Another thing that you need to be mindful of is when you break out these pillars, where you break really does matter. Actually, I realized that there is a pillar right here in our final build. Silly little details. But every pillar here really does matter, because when you break out a pillar, you're deciding the shape of it. You can do as many weird and interesting things as you want. I have a series going on currently, a collab with Fire, a building series. And in episode 2, we use this style of building. And we decided to notch in a section, the middle portion, and we put in this section here a little garden area and a patio on the 2nd floor. I'll put an iCard up in the corner for that one. When you're designing your walls, don't worry too much about it. You're able to come back, you're able to adjust. Just find something you really like, copy it all the way around. Depth helps more than flats, but if you can't afford to have much depth, this is counting the base block, 4 blocks of depth here. It takes a lot, but if you can't have that, you can only have 2 blocks, whatever it is, just find something. Just try not to have a completely flat wall, for me, please, for somebody. When it comes to a roof, this is where y'all decide what's most important in the build. Because right here, these walls look great. Right here, this roof looks fantastic. The walls add to it, it adds structure, adds support, but the walls are no longer the main focus. Especially if we went back and textured this, did the detailing, things of that nature, that roof would be amazing. All of these here point you to this center roof. That's the job of all these extra roofs, is just to point us to the center. So keep that in mind. Find ways to be able to funnel your eye to your most important thing. What in a build are you most proud of? If you are most proud of the entryway, make that entryway the centerpiece of the build. Add some terraforming, add some structure around it, make that entryway the most beautiful thing. When it comes to the insides, don't worry too much. Traditionally in Minecraft, unless this is your base, you're not going to be inside it all that much. If we're honest, this is not the most important thing. I mean, yes, if you're like me and everything has to make sense, yeah, it's important. But otherwise, don't get hung up on it. There's no need to get stressed out over something that you're not going to go back and look at in a week from now. But if you want to do something, try to think almost Harry Potter in the stairwell, like all the stairs going all these wacky different places and things like that. It'll make it so it's a lot more interesting. This staircase right here has 3 secrets. Like, there's an entrance over here that you might not have noticed. It leads out to over here, and you don't understand those are connected. There's a kitchenette under here. You're able to get access to the attic, which is where like some of the kids might stay, and there's storage over here. Maybe it's another bedroom, and over there is something else. Like, there's a lot of potential and possibilities here just from a staircase. So don't limit yourself. Try to think of creative ways. We'll do an interior tutorial at some point at a later date, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this. It's something fairly simple, but it has a lot of strengths because you can decide. I mean, we started with a square here, but you could have very easily 3 blocks by 12. Do whatever you want, like 4 by 18. Just have fun. And honestly, I would love to see photos and things like that. So if you guys can, I have my email linked on my YouTube page. Go check that out. Sorry for all the ums and ahs. You guys know I don't really script these tutorials because I want to give you guys real somebody content. I'll catch you guys back here with the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if this helped you out at all. I'll catch you guys back with the next one. Goodbye.